Hello, mate. You a bit zoomed in there?
Don't know, it's a bit dark.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's these lights. I don't know what I've done to them.
What's going on?
I've done something to them, mate. They're a little bit dull, aren't they? What about that? No.
That's quite good.
Is it? I don't know what I've done to them, mate. I've had a fiddle about and I've blooming messed them up. Anyway, when did we last do a video? Monday, wasn't it?
Probably Monday,
It's becoming all over the shop, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Trouble is, busy people ain't got time to do everything.
It does seem to be quite busy at the minute, and we almost seem to be just forgetting to do videos more than anything.
Try and do a couple a week, 2 or 3 a week, innit?
Yeah.
You do sometimes feel like you get a bit of drought, don't you? When you're concentrating on the actual work and organising bits, and I've had a lot of paperwork, you tend to sort of have a little bit of a drought in your head on what to do. This Cossworth here, I have managed to remove the crank and rods, etc.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the one, just to recap, this is the one that's got a funny tapping noise.
Yeah, fresh after a rebuild, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. So it's come from a garage down in Cornwall, and the guy said, just send it down to you, because you do them all the time, strip it, have a look, and let me know. So, in a previous video, I showed that before I got the crank and rods out and before I stripped the cylinder head, we did notice that on the oil pickup, one of the big end bolts, they run very, very close to the pickup, especially on number 2, sometimes number 3, and it had definitely been touching, mate. And I've had that.
It's got the pipe that comes out and sort of goes up here.
Yeah, so I'll grab it out of the wash quickly. So this is the oil pump pickup pipe, and it sort of sits like that.
Right.
All right. You've got the oil spray jets here, which is the bit of bent wire, really, or pipe. And what tends to happen is when the big end comes round, one of the nuts, the far nut this side, can hit on there, depending on where this is, because this is all a bit vague. And
yes, it's only held on with 2 bolts there, isn't it?
It is, and it can get bent and distorted, you know, when it's been off a couple of times, especially if it's had a new pump and they put the pickup on, because there's no dowels on the pickup to the pump. You can sort of put it on. You've got a bit of play, like about 2 mil of play, so you need to get it in the right position.
It's just a bit all over the place then, really, is it?
It is, mate, really. And what I tend to do is when I put it on, I sort of bend it a bit out the way, because sometimes if it's got a baffle in it, and the baffle, it's sort of bent that way, the baffle can push it,
right.
and it can touch.
So you could have clearance with the sump off,
yeah,
and then you put the sump on and the baffle pushes it down, basically, and pushes it into the path of the big end. It does,
mate, and it sounds like a one-man band. And this one, look, has been touching good and proper.
Yeah. So that'd be, well, you know, even just at idle, like 600-700 RPM, that'd be clanging away like anything, wouldn't it?
It will indeed, mate. So we're going to have to be doing some jiggery pokery to that to give it some clearance.
Yep.
I told the customer of that. Also, what else did we find? Oh, there was 2 buckets that were squeezed up.
Yeah.
But we did say they are definitely the single chamber, because they can only cost about 80 quid. But usually, if it's been sitting with the 2 lobes pushing the bucket down, it can empty the oil out over a bit of time. So not necessarily are they faulty, but we have put them in the bits not to be used box, because we're going to be supplying them with some twin chambered jobbies at twice the price, but they do work. So that is what we're going to be doing. But I rang the customer and he did insist that we continue to strip it and see what we found. One reason with the head, 2 things he was worried about. One is when you look down the exhaust ports, very weirdly, one of them was a bit wet in there.
A bit oily, maybe.
Yeah, so he suspected there could be something wrong with a valve, maybe. So we had to strip that out and investigate. And also, he said it did have new guides, but check the guides, because uncommon, but what can happen is when you drive the guides out, if you do it cold, sometimes it can tear the aluminium, and then when you put
pick up on it and
pick up and tear it out.
Yeah.
And when you put a new one in, it's not as tight as it should be.
Did he say something about the circlips as well on those?
He said, yeah. So when you buy guides, all the guides we buy, they don't come with the circlip on the back to pull them through. Now, not all guides have the circlips or anything, but they're belt and braces to stop them pulling through.
Yeah, and you know they're the same depth then.
Yeah. So you can buy the circlips, but what we tend to do is swap them, take them off the old ones, put them on the new ones. So he was a bit worried that they didn't have them on, and it had pulled through, and that was causing the tap-in. So we've took the crank rods out, mate. I've had a measure of everything, and everything looks really good. Doesn't... You see the bearings here, so these are the mains. Obviously hasn't run for very long at all.
No.
So there's been no running in period as of yet. So these are as you would suspect them to look.
Big ends all right?
Big ends. There's been a little bit of something, but that's probably just...
fairly typical, really, for a freshly built engine.
Well, it is
just
really. It all depends how well it was cleaned, to be honest with you. So you can see these little polished dots. That's probably just a little bit of...
tiny bit of grit or something.
A little bit of grit or something. A bit of crap floating about there from machining, maybe.
But nothing drastic, is it? It's
nothing drastic. Had a look at the oil filter. It all looks sort of all right in there. The oil that come out looks clean. So there's nothing horrible floating about in there too much. But we're going to be thoroughly cleaning that. So the cylinder head, mate, checked all the guides. So we've checked the guides to see how tight they are, and they ain't coming out very easy the way you would drift them out. So they're good. There's hardly any play in them.
So the guides aren't going up and down the sort of bore then?
No, the guides are definitely not moving.
And not a lot of play?
Not a lot of play at all, mate. So they're new guys. That's just brilliant.
So it's a good head.
Yeah, we've just sort of given them a quick lap, but they sort of sat in fine, really. The stem seals were new. We removed those, checked to see if obviously the circlip was on the guides.
Yeah.
And we should put some new seals on. So, but you can see where it's used that Cooper's ring gasket.
Sort of eats in,
where it's et into the surface, so we should be giving this a lick over. You can see where it's had extensive welding in the past, look, on the outer edge, where they tend to go if they've been left with no antifreeze in there or something.
Have we showed them how we test the valves recently? I don't think we have for a while, have we?
No, we haven't. So what we do is obviously make sure all the valves are clean. We shall probably make another video, because we haven't done one for a while, and there's going to be new viewers that haven't seen us use this Centronic machine before for cutting seats. We'll show that at another time. But basically, when you've got a freshly cut or lapped valve seat, and the guide has been, the valve has been faced to make sure it's true and got a clean 45-degree angle, you make sure everything's clean, make sure they're both sitting flat on the seat. And then this here is a vacuum tester, mate. And if I put my finger over there, you can see that shoot up into the green.
Yep.
Anything in the green and beyond is acceptable.
Anything below needs some attention.
Means it's drawing air through the head. As we stick it on the back of the port, it's drawing through one of the valve heads, which means it's not a perfect seat. But you can see on that one, look, into the green, no problem.
Lovely job.
Which means that both of those seats are perfect.
Yeah.
And apparently, when this machine was new, one of the demonstrations that they did was put a human hair on one of the valves, in between the valve and the seat, and there was no vacuum whatsoever.
You know, we use it a lot. We can sort of diagnose bent valves, badly seating valves.
Exactly.
And even with like the most mild bend in a valve, it will just read nothing.
Yeah.
You won't get any reading at all.
No.
So even like if you're getting anything on there, you know at least your stem's straight.
This is it.
So it's most likely going to be a seat issue.
It's going to be a seat,
or a valve face.
Yeah, basically.
So it is very accurate.
And what will happen there, obviously, you do the vacuum test, so you're drawing air through there. But when the engine's built, what's going to happen if you've got any leakage? You're going to be down on compression.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have problems starting it and running and all that jazz, mate. So that's how we do it. But we can see nothing wrong with the head. So that's all good.
Yeah.
So far, I am sticking to my conclusion that it is probably the big end touching that pickup pipe.
Yeah.
And so I'll have a word with the customer maybe tomorrow and go ahead, give them a price for building it back up. A few new bits. Jobs are good, isn't it, mate? This is a little job that I did the other day, mate. And look at that for butchery.
It don't look right.
No, this is a little milling job. Now, you wouldn't believe it, or you probably would, being a marine engine. This is a 2-cylinder Sea-Doo jet ski engine.
Oh, right.
It's I believe they're about 900cc, twin cylinder. separate barrels to the crankcase. On these two strokes, if anyone knows two strokes, the crank assembly hasn't got removable rods with rod caps. It's all roller bearings, all pressed together, done in a jig and balanced, so you can't separate the rods from the crank unless you split the crank. Now the crank's stuck in. This thing's been sitting for ages, obviously with salt water in it, and it seized the pistons into the barrels so bad that we can't even press it. If we continue to press, what's going to happen is it's going to break the crankcase, and that's the bit we need to save.
So, yeah, so the owner, he basically just wants it stripped just for the crankcase.
Need it apart. Basically, we need the crank out, because once we've done that, we can bore it. Doesn't matter about the leftover piston in there. We can bore it or liner it, whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
Go with new pistons. So what I've had to do, mate, set it up, machine out the top of the piston, and down here you've got the top of the rod. So what I've got to do now is I've got to Dremel through the pin, because you can't machine the pin, it's hard.
Yeah, those gudgeon pins are very hard.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to have to Dremel through the pin either side of the rod, so we can then get the barrels off, take the crank shaft out. You can send the crankshaft away and get it all done. Yeah. We can do the single cylinders. We can't do twins and triples because they have to be done in a jig.
Yeah.
Then he's going to buy, with the two strokes, you just buy new rod kits, which comes with the big and the small end, all roller bearing.
I was going to say, before anyone else says, we did have that sat in a big tub full of diesel for about a month.
We did indeed,
and it still wouldn't come free or anything. Like we've tried to get it moving without having to do this.
Exactly. So
it's not happening.
It's not happening at all, mate. But it's a bit sketchy, sort of milling the pistons, and it looks like absolute butchery. But
it sort of is. But it's all you can do.
There is a method there, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all you can do. You've got to save the crankcase. So getting a bit collectible now, the old two-stroke jet skis. And finally, mate, this is the Focus RS Mark III, the 2.3 EcoBoost.
It is indeed.
Basically. And we were hoping to get this one complete for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to, because we are
sort of waiting on a few things. Waiting on the chain kit to turn up.
We are, yeah.
That's too,
but we just want to talk a little bit about the head gasket, mate. And it's the reason I've chose today's thumbnail and title. No clickbait here. This is
it's a genuine grievance with something that's been going on for a long time in the motor industry.
It is indeed, mate, and it's something that I did on my first engine that I built, where I failed to do what they suggest doing, but it was sort of not so common knowledge then.
Yeah.
It was only when I had to have the car back under a warranty and do exactly what you've done here.
Yep.
And that is slap a bit of gooey on the head gasket.
Yeah, so this is the 2.3 EcoBoost.
Yeah.
They use these in the RSs and the Mustangs.
Yeah.
And basically, from factory, they had a head gasket issue.
Yeah.
And I think it was sort of coolant leaking out of around here.
Yeah.
Or potentially oil leaking in towards the water jacket. But
either way, we ain't got the old head gasket, have we?
I may have chucked it away.
Oh well, never mind.
But yeah.
So you've got an oil way here, which is about here.
Yeah.
And it's very close to the outside of the block. And I think one of the problems is, I do believe, is because you've got the head meeting the block and then you've got the front cover meeting both, you've got a point here where there's literally 3 joins.
Yeah.
And because you've got oil pressure going up to the cylinder head, the gasket isn't sufficient enough on its own, apparently, to keep the oil in, and it does tend to leak out of that corner. So, official Ford bulletin.
Yep, they updated it and said you need to basically put silicone on the head gasket, which is mental.
Yeah, you can see there, and along this edge we do it, don't we, really?
Yeah,
so
it's sort of in these corners mainly, but...
Yeah, it is absolutely mental, mate.
Yeah, it is.
Never heard it with anything else, but...
And it's sort of one of them, that's a Band-Aid fix, really, isn't it?
Well, it is, really.
I mean,
but it's an official Ford
And on top of that, because I guess it's either because it's a known issue, or maybe because there's a known, like a design flaw with the original gasket.
Yeah.
No one makes an aftermarket gasket.
No.
Like, they're really hard to get. So
Well, actually, I was speaking to Adrian at Mar the other day, and he said that because the last one we did of these, I do believe, or the last one that I had to supply a gasket for, had the 2 litre bottom end. So it had a 2 litre bottom end, which was the closed deck, uprated, but
a bit stronger.
Yeah, but there you use the 2 litre head gasket, which is different. But actually, for the 2.3, they don't do and haven't done a successful aftermarket head gasket.
Although I think Mount Tune does one.
Does it?
Yeah.
Is that a Victor Rhines though, or?
It's one of their own. I don't know who maybe they do it themselves, or.
Maybe.
But it was out of stock, so couldn't get one anyway. But
yeah, it may be a Victor Rhines, I don't know, but
yeah,
ain't ideal putting gooey on a head gasket, especially around an oil way where you're not really certain where the gooey's going to go.
It's on the auto data sheet. It says apply the 8mm bead of silicone on the gasket.
Yeah.
Don't use too much silicone or it will cause engine damage. So they know it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's the more you torque that head down, the less space that silicone's got to stay where it's just going to spread, and if it spreads into the oil way, it's going to
be in trouble.
Starve the head of oil, which is going to seize a camshaft and cause God knows what damage. So yeah, not ideal, mate. But if Ford says it's right, then.
Well, and the other thing is that these multi-layer steel head gaskets, they're coated with like a sticky, once they're clamped, it's meant to sort of bond the head and the block to the gasket. Really. Yet you've had to chuck a load of silicone on it. So
it's just like you say, it's a band-aid fix for a design fault.
It's basically
simple.
They got very lucky with getting away with that, really, because a lot of times it would have been like a major recall, big product redesign.
Well, sometimes you find basically they've just got the head bolts which are inside there.
Yeah, they
really are. A lot of heads like this where they've got a separate cover like this that goes on, you'll find that they'll have maybe like a couple of 8mm, 10mm bolts go down here and clamp it. But this has got no room to do that. What they've actually designed there hasn't really worked right.
This one's got ARP studs and nuts, so whether that does anything to mitigate an issue,
maybe.
A bit better clamping, but then again, I don't know how much better clamping you're getting from it, whether it's just, and it's more just a durability thing, isn't it, the ARPs.
Butchery at its best.
Yeah.
Look at the Rally Escort there, mate, looking filthy. And the reason for that is because I've only just gone and got hose for our pressure washer, which is in here now. Look at it in here, mate. It's so nice and neat in here, isn't it?
Better in there now.
4 more figure hose to do.
Yep.
And another 2 on the way.
Nice. John will be very happy.
So what I've had to do is get a longer hose so we can keep the pressure washer in there and we can use it with the doors open.
Yep.
And it keeps it out of the workshop, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, that's the main thing. It was sort of leaking everywhere in there, wasn't it? So
a part of me wants to clean the Escort, but another part of me wants to leave it looking very rally-ish. Cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there we go, mate. That's it for today's video, I think. Friday tomorrow. Might do another one tomorrow. See how we feel.
What's that there? Just turned up.
That, apparently, is a Studebaker.
Ah.
But we'll go into that in another video, mate. If anyone knows what a Studebaker is, give us some info in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Maybe see you tomorrow or Saturday.